Hi, this is Allie from Instructional Technology, and today we are looking at drag and drop options in Google Slides. Before we get started, I just want to say that drag and drops in Google Slides are endless opportunities. So what we're going to look at today are just a few kind of getting started examples. Think of them as building blocks for your content and your grade level. Really, there's so many options. So we're not going to cover every single thing today. If you have a specific question about something you're wanting to make, feel free to reach out and we can help you one-on-one and get you going. But I think you'll find a bunch of different options that will sort of lay the foundation for drag and drop slides for you. So the first one we're looking at is for math. In this, I just made a text box and let's see, here we go. Okay, put in the symbol, made it the right size that I wanted, and then I made the background color specific to whatever color I wanted it to be. From here, once you get that formatting, I like to hit Control D as many times as you need it, okay? And then if you highlight those, you can come up here to the Arrange option. Choose Align. I like to just choose left because it's at the top of that, and then top. It's going to put all those in a nice little stack. So now when kids come over and they choose this and drag it to where they need it to be, there's still ones behind it for them to choose from. Eventually they will run out. You don't want to put too many in there because it'll make your slide load a little slower, but it looks like there's just a never-ending stack for them. So this is a really great option, nice and easy, and it's a good place to get started. Another option that I've recently worked with, we're creating arrays, and so the students could write their answer here. And then down at the bottom, I did Insert Image. I searched the web, and for this one, I did an ice cream cone clip art. Okay, found the picture I wanted, inserted that, and then did that same thing where I just duplicated and made a stack, arranged them, and they're there. So now the kids can drag and make their array out of the ice cream cones. Okay, nice and simple, but it's fun for the students. The next one that we're looking at actually involves something a little bit more detailed. When I taught ELA, we did plot points with every single story all the time. It was a never-ending cycle. Whether it was 6th grade or 11th grade, we did plot points. And so this is just a template that I like to use and keep. And then I could use this for other activities and build things in. So I started working with this one on Wonder, and I really felt like for this activity specifically, I needed a little bit more room for the students to work in. So I'm going to actually pop over to this set of slides, and you'll see that the dimensions are different. And so it gives a little bit more room around the activity, just so that we can kind of spread out a little bit more. How I did that is come to File and then go down to Page Setup. You'll see that it's defaulted to widescreen. I'm going to choose Custom instead, and then this dimension is 30 by 11. I use custom dimensions constantly. I like to do 11 by 8. That way, if I need to print it and have a paper copy, it matches exactly what someone is doing online on their computer, and the formatting doesn't get all weird and wonky. So this is a custom one. I'd highly recommend it. Keep in mind that you want your slides to be horizontal. If you do vertical 8.5 by 11, it gets really hard to read because our screens are more horizontal than they are vertical. So for this one, after I made this, I basically just snipped a picture of this slide, and I like to use the NIMBUS extension. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. But the reason that I'm snipping the slide and making a picture of it is then when my kids come over here, or your kids, I guess I don't have kids anymore, they can't actually change any of the text. So I like to use that, and then sometimes depending on the format of the picture and the slide itself, I'll also upload this as a background. I can't do that right now because it would be very stretched and it wouldn't really work. So then over here, the kids have their text boxes. I just did a text box, and then you'll notice on this one, when they click on it, it doesn't let them actually type. How I did that versus this one right here is I inserted a shape. So I'm just going to draw a box on top of my text box. Once it gets gray, I'm going to change the color and the line to be transparent. Okay, and then Peter's a little slow today. All right, and then I'm going to highlight both of those, right click and group those. So now on the student side, it looks like it's just one unit that can't actually be edited. The other option is to once again snip a picture of that, and then you can actually upload that picture. And it does tend to be a little smaller, so you'll have to kind of make it big again. And then they can't actually do anything to that at all. Depending on how many text boxes you have, depends on how much time you want to spend as far as taking pictures or just putting a text box over it. The next one that I want to just sort of show you is for our littles who are learning to read and working on those different building blocks of words. So I've done the same thing. I made a text box and then I duplicate it, made a stack, and so now the kids can come over here and start building their words. So I'm going to have them drag out an S, and then we're going to make the word sing, and then they can just start creating their words and working with them in that capacity as well. If you have littles who are struggling with the keypad, if they just tap on it and then use the arrow keys, they can kind of slowly, let me see if I can speed this up at all, they can actually move that over, and then they can also go up and down. This does take some time, but if they're really struggling with that the trackpad, then that's a lot easier for them. All right, the next one we're going to look at is putting animated GIFs into your slides. Really on this, any GIF you find that's educational can be inserted. I'll show you how to do that. And then I just have the same thing, drag and drops over here. The kids will drag them and then label them as they want to. So how I inserted this is I went to giphy.com. This website, I'm going to warn you up front, does have things that may not be PG on them. So do not have your students go here, and do not go to it in front of your students. It's one that's really just teachers only with caution and a warning up front. So from here, I just typed in heart. It is going to come up with a bunch of different, I guess I can just show you. Oh, I spelled that wrong. It's going to come up with a bunch of different GIFs. And as you can see, most of these are fine. Some words are going to pull things that are a little bit more questionable. So from here, click on that. Once it loads, right click and then save image as. Okay, you can see I've already done this a few times. And then from here, you just upload that picture and it will come up and start working. Okay, and so then you can just build in your drag and drops around that. So a few different options. Really think of these things as building blocks for your content area and your grade level. There are so many different options, and if you have an idea in mind but you're not sure how to actually make it come together, feel free to reach out to either myself or your campus ITS, and we would love to help you with that. So if you have any questions, let us know.